Right, at this time I will call this regular meeting of the Port Lavaca City Council to order on this Monday, September 8th, 2025 at 6:31 PM. I would ask everyone to please rise. As former Councilman Jim Ward to deliver an invocation for us.
Right. Father, we just come before you now. Just fill this place with your Holy Spirit, Father, and I ask that you guide and direct the decisions that are made here, that it be in accordance with your will and under the guidance and direction of your Holy Spirit. And Lord, that you continue to bless and defend this nation from any that might seek to undermine it. We pray it all, Father, in Jesus Christ's name. And for his sake, I give you the praise and honor and glory, Father. And I thank you for hearing our prayer. Amen.
Please join me in the pledges of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Texas flag, honor the Texas flag. Pledge allegiance to Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. First order of business, I will ask if there's anyone here from the public that wishes to comment before council. Signed up
Just Jim.
for a comment session. All right, seeing none and hearing none. We will move on to our consent agenda, which consists of the minutes of the August 11th.
Mayor. I think Mr. Ward had signed up to speak.
Speak now or later?
But you indicated you wanted to speak on agenda item 5. You'll have more time if you wait to the agenda.
Whichever. Somebody going to do it now?
No, we'll just wait till the agenda item.
Yeah, I know.
You're welcome this one.
Yeah.
Better to speak if you're on the agenda. Is that? All right. Consent agenda, minutes of the August 2025 regular meeting, the minutes of the August 18th, 25 special meeting and workshop, minutes of the August 25th joint city council and planning board workshop, review of our credit card statements, receiving our monthly financial highlight report, receiving employee training review, acknowledgement report ending August 31st, 2025, receiving Office of Court Administrators monthly report ending August 1st, 2025, and receiving the Victoria Economic Development Corporation's monthly report. Motion approving the consent agenda. So. Second. We have a motion and a second to approve. Senate, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. And not opposed, motion passes. All right, we move to our regular agenda, which consists of agenda item number 1, to conduct a public hearing on 2025-2026 fiscal year budget.
Mayor and council, the city is required to have a public hearing on the 2025-2020 budget. Only one public hearing is required and there's no action required.
At this time, 6:35 p.m., I will call to order the public hearing, the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget. I'll ask if there's anyone here that wishes to speak on the budget. Public. See none. The council. We want to thank Brittany, all the hard work that her staff put into the budget this year. Did a great job. Right, the time now is 6:37. See no one here to make comments before council. I will close the public hearing at this time. Move on to agenda item number 2. Conduct a public hearing on the 2025 tax rate.
Mayor and council, the city is required to hold a public hearing on the tax rate as well. Only one public hearing is required, no action is required.
6:37, I will call to order the public hearing on the 2025 tax rate. Again, ask if there's anyone here that wishes to speak on the tax rate. CJ?
Is there a proposed tax rate right now?
0.8000, so it'd be the same as last year's.
The further down on the agenda, we have some items that we have to cover before we vote on the tax rate. Okay, the time is 6:39 and I see no one here to comment on the tax rate. We will call the public hearing on the 2025 tax rate closed. Move on to agenda item number 3, consider the request of the Calhoun County Fair Association for a parade permit and traffic control assistance on Saturday, October 11th, 2025, beginning at 10 a.m. Parade route will be from Sand Crab Stadium, San Fabian, North Virginia, Main Streets, and ending at the Bayfront Peninsula. Will include a waiver of any fees associated with the event. Daniel?
To make a motion that we approve the parade permit.
Motion and second. Daniel, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, it's standard every year parade.
All right, so we have a motion and a second approving the request of Calhoun County Fair Association for a parade permit and traffic control assistance on October 11th, 2025 for the annual county fair parade. All in favor as presented, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. None opposed, motion passed. All right, we'll move to agenda item number 4, consider approval of a new event management marketing communication service agreement with the Port Lavaca Chamber of Commerce. Judy?
We did discuss this somewhat at the budget workshop and pointed out that there have been a number of additional events that have been added to the regular annual schedule since the city initially contracted with the Chamber for Events Management back in 2016. And in that time, the only increase in compensation was $15,000 a couple of years ago. That was added to provide a limited amount of communication assistance to the contract. After reviewing the current scope of services that are provided by the Chamber in managing our events, marketing, the city, and assisting with communications, I'm recommending agreeing to an increase in their compensation to $125,000 per year. Looking at this even closer and considering the MCI from 2016 to now, the 90,000 back in 2000 or 75,000 rather back in 2016, would now be $103,000, and then adding the 15,000 for the communication is 118. So that's getting pretty close to this 125. And yet we're still adding, events to that than what was back in 2016. Also, at the budget, we just, during this particular budget, coming up budget year, we're going to transfer the title of a vehicle that has a value of $15,000 to the chamber. So as a in lieu of a cash payment to them. So our cash payment for this coming fiscal year would be 110,000 instead of 125,000. For the contract, the makeup of the events committee are shown in your memo. We've got events coordinator Tanya, finance director serves as the vice chair. The Chamber of Commerce representative is Sarah Baker. The local hotel motel representative is Christine Pena. And there are two commercial business representatives, Desiree Spears with Farmers Insurance and Shelley Bartels with Port Lavaca Way. In the memo, I've also listed other creative and social media posts that they have done over the course of this past year. And this is on top of what the normal events that, of course, they're promoting their contract. So at this time, staff recommends approval of the Events Management Marketing Communication Services Agreement for the Port Lavaca Chamber of Commerce for fiscal years 2025 through 2028. It would be a 3-year contract in the amount of $125,000, except in page 2 of 4 of the contract, it stipulates that this current year will be transferring the title of a 2017 Chevy Silverado in lieu of $15,000 worth of payment.
So the way you described it, it sounds like a $7,000 increase. Was it 118,000?
Yeah, in today's dollars, it's like exactly right, 7,000 to account for a variety of additional events. Then,
How many events have we added?
well, if we look on page 1 of 4, there we've got the what's in red is in addition to what the last contract was, but from the original 2016 was only what. Yeah, Iguanafest and Flip Flop. So everything else, of course, the birding festival kind of substituted for Flip Flop. But all the others are in addition to what was initially contracted for in 2006.
And that doesn't account for any cost of living.
Right. And the cost of living is the MCI, the municipal cost index, which all that does is show that what the value of $75,000 in 2016, the value of those dollars today was whatever I said, 103,000. Yeah.
Comes out of the hot funds.
Yes.
I think they do a dynamic job, so I would like to recommend that we approve the Event Management Marketing Communication Service Agreement with the Port Lavaca Chamber of Commerce.
Second that.
We need to do anything with the vehicle.
No, it's
The
already.
council doesn't need to.
Awesome.
I mean, it's already been
It's already been
declared surplus.
Way to go.
We did that as a group, fire, police, and public works.
So we have a motion and a second. Approving the new Event Management Marketing Communication Service Agreement with the Lavaca Chamber of Commerce as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed, motion passes. Right, we'll move on to agenda item number 5. Consider new job description for property clerk administrative assistant. Grade 6. Rudy?
Mayor Council, we did discuss this at the recent budget workshop, where staff was proposing to add the position of property clerk administrative assistant to the police department. In your packet is a copy of the proposed job description. which does include some revisions that were made this morning for clarity. Again, based upon the discussion during the workshop, I fully understand that there was not full support among council for this additional position. And as I emailed over the weekend, I apologize if I did not read the room correctly, but myself and staff, we did not feel we had a clear consensus either way. So I thought it was prudent to bring this back before council for a vote. The position can be, as being presented, would be as a full-time position, but options are part-time position or to vote not to add a position at all. If approved, we're proposing that the position would have a pay grade of 6, which is a minimum of $39,820 a year and a maximum of $53,757. Other positions in this same grade are accounting clerk, Ports and Harbors administrative assistant, development coordinator, permit tech, meter technician, and a police cadet. Again, the attached job description provides details to the proposed duties of this position that supplement the information that Chief Ragnow had provided during the budget workshop. Again, we apologize that, probably could have done a better job of supporting this position, proposed position at the workshop. And again, we did more information over the weekend and today. Staff is recommending to approve the addition of one new position, being property clerk administrative assistant in the police department with the presented job description. Again, whatever council's decision is under this agenda item will be reflected in subsequent agenda items, meaning the compensation plan and the budget itself.
Very good. Council, I know we went into quite a bit of depth the last workshop. I'm here to answer any more questions when it comes to it. We also have, as far as the audience, Laura Stray, who's the coordinator of the 911 Center. And she wanted to give her, as far as her insight, as far as the impact that it has made to her department, as far as that goes. I think that's something that we need to be considered is the impact to other departments as far as that goes. And the load that it puts on her department as far as her staff. I know as far as officers doing this, answering calls, and then they definitely have their hands full, as did our dispatchers over here when we have. And I think looking back, when we had dispatch over there, in fact, we had Dolores Drake come in several times, like for overtime and stuff, just to answer the window, and how that alleviated a lot of, that kind of relieved that dispatcher to focus on dispatching. So I can sit and ramble as far as that goes, or if y'all would like to hear from Dolores Drake, kind of her perception as well.
Do you have a lot of traffic coming to the window right now?
So last time, I stated about 50 to 70, within. So, as far as reasonable traffic that does come in, however, given at all hours. Well, no, not at all hours, because the lobby is open from 8 to 5. But like I said, when somebody comes in, you have no idea what that's going to tell. It could be you can tie up, like I said, Karen or Angie for a good 30 minutes to an hour, just depending on what's actually going on. Or it could be something simple as I need to talk to detective, blah, blah, blah. Oh, no problem, have a seat. Okay. So it could be anywhere from 2 minutes to 30 to an hour. And of course, like I said, what I also, was big concern I have is that the impact to their jobs. So as far as with Karen and Angie, those are important positions as far as that goes and what they have to get out. And like I said, we're all kind of, we're under pressure from other departments, So Angie's pressure to get the cases in a timely manner, to make sure, as far as the open records request are handled properly and within time. And there's been times where they haven't, given the, if you're juggling bowling balls and chainsaws. Aaron too, as far as, our goal for the department to become accredited. And a big part, and I stressed this last time, was that the evidence part of it, that is a very big part of judge accreditation. Unfortunately, that has kind of suffered over time as far as this past year. And of course, we didn't come to y'all for this position last year because we wouldn't know, as far as that. I couldn't tell you honestly that those two couldn't handle it. But we now have been through a year, and I can definitely say that as far as customer service, we are happy when it comes to the department.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I think a funny example was last week. Russell Kane came in and gave us a cake, and there was nobody to answer the door because they were busy. He literally left the cake on the seats and he walked out. And the guy was like, "There's a big cake in the lobby." Who was it from? It says Russell Kane. So, that's like a small example of, because we do have people come in and, wanting to come in and speak to officers or just give case. We have different traffic that comes in all hours of the day.
Was it your birthday or what was?
No, he was just, it was being nice, so.
Appreciation.
I'd like to hear from Dolores.
I will.
I'm Dolores Drake. I'm the interim director for the Calhoun County Emergency Communications Division. And when they don't have anybody at the front desk, we get all the phone calls. I don't know where everybody is. And when I say everybody, I'm talking about the chief or the lieutenants or the detectives. We have no way to contact them because otherwise we would just transfer that call to them. I can't do that. So we either have to take a message and then get on a cell phone and say, is this you or is this you? And it really takes a lot of time. And then when the guys are all running traffic, and I'm talking about all agencies, the sheriff's office, Point Comfort, Seadrift, Port Lavaca, we have to take care of all them. Then we have EMS and fire department. Nobody's more important than anybody else, but the phones that are ringing all the time. Well, I need to talk to Chief Regno. Okay, I'll take a message and have to get back with you. Sometimes we sound really curt. And we don't mean to, but we're frustrated because of the abundance of calls coming in. And we have no way to reach them. Except via cell phone or holler on the radio or, something like this. And they're always, they're busy. And I know they're busy. So I have 3 dispatchers on most of the time. And then you have to count me in because when those phones go to ringing and those girls are busy running traffic, I get out there and answer the phone. Take the messages, we send text messages out, emails or whatever we have to do to make contact with these people. We don't want to let the public down by not making contact. But when we're so busy, I feel like we're losing some of that public service also. Do you have any questions for me?
Are there any calls that get you, some calls that are not like a dire emergency or something that you put in the back burner that y'all can't get to, or they just let it go, or?
Well, no, we'll never do that. We'll try to take care of every call that comes in. But if you have, let's say I have a dispatcher on 911 and there's another one running traffic and the other one's running another agency's traffic and the phone goes to ringing, I'm going to go answer it. And I'm going to give them the information or what they need to fix their problem. If they need to speak with an officer, I said, okay, I'll have them call you and we can set up a meeting time. If it's an emergency, I'm going to take care of it right then and there, tone out EMS or whatever, because we do. That's why those phones are so important to us. We do get emergency calls on those phones, not just on 911. Been in that front office. I've answered those calls. It was lucky because I could transfer them to the detectives or up to the lieutenants or to the chief or Karen or Angie, whoever. I could just transfer. I can't do that right now. I don't have that capability.
So why can't Karen and Angie transfer the phones?
I mean, I guess I'm having a hard time understanding why they can't answer the phone.
They do when they're there. But I know Karen has to go to the lab. And she has other things that she has to do during the day. She's got to take care of evidence. So she's not always available to answer the phones. And so when she's not available, they roll over to us. And we have them all night. We have them after 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so. And then when you start getting,
During the daytime, you don't know why they're rolling over to you, like why they're not picking up the phone is, you know, somebody just,
that's part of
I
it,
mean,
yes, ma'am.
but you don't know, like, everybody's out on patrol, you don't know any of that.
No,
You just know they're automatically rolled over to you.
yes. So I know I called Karen one day. She happened to be, she was going to a doctor's appointment. I said, "It's nobody there." She said, "No, I'm sorry." So we had that. These calls that day. And sometimes it's overwhelming. Because you don't want to let the public down.
Well, I agree there, but you should be informed, like, no one's gonna be in the office or to get one of the patrol guy, you know, somewhere.
Well, we don't want to take patrol guys off the street.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they should inform you.
Oh,
They should
Okay.
inform the 911 station, the centralized
That's it.
system. That's what I'm saying.
that, yes,
That's
that would help.
just a
I mean,
courtesy, that should be.
we know we're gonna get those calls. And when they start ringing after 8 o'clock. Hey, is anybody there? So we just keep answering.
Are you having to put people on hold because of another thing happening? Yeah, that should be happening. You have to put them on hold, I'm thinking.
If it's an emergency, I'm not gonna put them on hold. But if they need me to take a message to get to one of the detectives or to one of the lieutenants or something, I say, "Can you just hang on a minute? I need to catch this other line." I put that one on hold and come back to this one, take the message and then go back to my other line.
So that, where this other person comes in, would take care of that?
Yes, they would take, what we're hoping, I know that there's a new phone system. And it's my understanding it's supposed to be installed Wednesday evening.
Yeah.
Okay. But regardless, it's going to help alleviate a lot of the calls. Because they will be able to pick who they need to talk to. But, you know, we have people that come to the door. It's locked because there's nobody in the front lobby and they call us. Okay, I need to talk to the police. How can I get in? Okay, we'll have an officer come meet with you in just a moment. So, and we have to get that officer back over to the office so he can take the report.
Yeah. So from what I understand, answer the phone is not the only duty of that person. They're gonna be doing evidence custodian duties. They're gonna be doing receptionist duties, which is answering the phone, administrative support to the office manager, and records clerk support. So it's just not, okay, we're having somebody wait for the phone.
There's other
Yeah,
things that other
we got other
things they're
stuff
gonna do.
going, and I think this evidence custodian duties is, it entails a lot of work. So,
So when that person is doing that duty, they're not at the front. So I mean, how's that work?
You know, they're just gonna roll it over.
That's out of my realm.
Thank you.
So, like I say, a good example is usually Monday mornings as far as parents takes care of the property after the weekend. And it's called what we call emptying the bins. So any evidence that the officers take, they're entered into this evidence room. There's all these bins, there's probably about 20 of them. And so from there, she takes all of that out and that gets entered into the system as far as that goes. And that is a timely process as far as to actually accurately put it in there. And what causes the issue is to the program that we have, it sets timelines. So you want to make sure that you get it accurate in there so that, you know, when it, as far as needs to be disposed of or if it needs to go to court, there's all kinds of as far as reasons why We have these timelines on the evidence. So to enter it all properly and also to keep that organized in there, it's very time consuming. So during that time, so either Angie, can answer the phone, or the phones actually stay rolled over to 5 minutes. So during that time while she's doing that, which that was her job or her, as far as what she was assigned to do way before all of this. So so there's times when she has to do that, and that's, like I said, either Angie's in, and if she's not available, then of course it stays with not one. They're answering those calls. It just as Dolores is saying, so they can't, say my extension is 540. So at her office, she's not be able to, all right, well, let me hit 540 and it rings directly to. And that's the big breakdown as far as wanting a detective, wanting somebody, they don't have that capability of doing that. So that's where a lot of this gets lost. And then there's sometimes, and it seems like we were talking earlier today, like Fridays is when they always looking for me. And so the dispatchers are usually sending me a text on my work cell phone as far as that. Say you got this call, you got that call. And so my opinion, I don't, if somebody's coming in the office or calling, I want to be able to talk to them right then. That's what I've always told people, well, I hate to waste your time. No, my time is your time, and that's lacking as far as that. So somebody, I don't like to have somebody waiting, so if somebody's up front, hey, chief, there's somebody in here who wants to talk to you. You write down, say, all right. That's the big piece that we're missing now. When we had dispatch there, it wasn't a problem.
I think what Tim was asking, if that person that's supposed to be at the window, if she's doing another duty somewhere else, and somebody comes to the window, how is she gonna know that somebody's at the window? Do you have a bell or?
Yes, there is a bell,
So you just ring the bell and they'll come right away.
not right away.
Well, I mean, they'll know that
But
somebody.
it's talking about if we have this.
If we have this person.
We have this person.
Yeah, the,
The bell would be going and that person would be.
Yeah, but I think what they're saying is if, and I don't know, Karen, you can help answer, if they're helping Karen, are they being,
So we would always have one person designated to get the door.
right.
So like, if I'm the primary right now, and if I'm not available, Angie takes over. With a third person, that just adds in. Is what if I'm sick, evidence bins still need to be emptied. So there's that third person to go empty those bins and be in that evidence room and not be interrupted. And then Angie would take over. But we just don't have enough bodies to cover the time, all our jobs. We just don't.
And from what I'm hearing, everybody say their job's in a time, they have to get things done within a certain time. If we're taking them away from their jobs that they're supposed to be getting done at a certain time, then that's a problem.
Time is what gets us on.
So like on Monday, Angie does not Angie, Karen does so Angie is assigned up front, right? She should be doing duties that, in my opinion, I don't work in your office. Duties that, okay, this is short time. If I stop here, I'm okay, I can go over here. If I stop there, I can go over here. And like I told you on the last meeting, when we talked about this last time, in our office, it reroutes to the principal. If the secretary's in there, it reroutes to the principal. That's when if she can't be there and Angie has stepped out, it should be route up to management. And I want customer service. I've always said I wanted great customer service throughout this city. I think that, time management is also an issue. And I'm not taking away, I'm just. On that. We do try and do time management as much as possible, but we constantly have things pop off, like the TA's requesting this right now. And, not to belittle your jobs, we all have jobs that we all have to take away from, we all have to figure out time management, but if you're gonna reroute the call, the 911 call center, I think you need to let them know where you're gonna be at And I'm not just pointing you out, I'm just pointing, I'm not pointing you out, I'm just pointing the whole department out. Because it seems like maybe, and I'm just an outsider looking in. I just seem to think time management, because I've been in management positions. I mean, you know. I'm not trying to belittle you at all or say that you, but from an outsider looking in, to me, and I've been in management, that's what it looks like, because there's Colin upstairs, there's Eric upstairs, and they all have duties. We all have duties. I mean, I'm just giving my opinion and that I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Inside instead of the
Well,
outside.
the chief has always welcomed us. I mean, has always made it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair from Jim Ward wants to address a position.
Looking around the room, I realize that I'm the oldest one here and that the building, this building was originally a bank. First National Bank. Mr. Motley came here with his family from Spurger, Texas, and he's just real country, and he opened this as a bank. I was in high school. The configuration of this building is not conducive necessarily to efficiency completely, but it beats building a new building. If you'll recall, when we were talking about consolidating the dispatch, we're going to take the ones from here, ones from the sheriff's department, put them together in a building, and they're over there. Over here, though, they were sitting there. There was a window. They could see people come up there. I guess you didn't know. Also, I was in the military. Adjutant General Corps. On a military post, let me tell you, you always know there's a safe place to go. The police station, MP, you would go there. There were cases where, say, a single female, she's walking. She knows she can go to the MP station and she's safe. Spousal abuse, she can go and be protected. Child abuse, gang related. Somebody has had a baby, they want to leave it. But you don't go to the door and knock on the door and make a phone call. You go there because there's somebody back there can see and make sure that you get in. And that's what we need, is something like that. I've talked to a number of people here in the city about this situation. And some of them are very upset. Just the fact that, as you know, the chief asked for someone to stay here from the dispatchers, but that was turned down because of the expense. Now we're talking about possible expense again, but the job of the police is to protect the citizens. It's to enforce the law. If you have somebody coming around here and they're being followed and they want to come in, they want to get to the police station. Kids are even told this at school. You don't. There's a phone number, call them. That's not the way you operate a situation like this. And like I said, there's some people that are, I've talked to some of your constituents, a few of you, and they don't like it. You don't close the door and put a phone number up there just to save money. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. Okay, thank you.
And Chief, how many police stations can you not walk into in the state of Texas that are locked? And you have to make a phone call, get somebody to show up at the police. How many of them in the state of Texas, the door's locked?
Well, as far as Monday through Friday to 5, that's not a hurt as far as things, for sure. I know as far as Crow, they're kind of in the same situation that we are. But they do have somebody up front as far as to help somebody. And it's the same way, and I'm speaking from experience because I work there. You know, it was midnight, you couldn't go up to the police station as far as that, somebody would let you in. But, you know, smaller, because they had, as far as combined dispatch, or actually the county dispatch for both agencies. So most people knew to either go to, well, they would just call. It's kind of weird how all they work now.
But from 8 to 5, they have someone
They
there.
had some money. That was,
Thank you.
So Colin, I guess one other question, just because I don't know, just need to ask it. So everybody's moved upstairs except I guess Angie and Karen now. Is that correct? There's nobody left downstairs?
well, when I took over, all the administration went.
I was all upstairs already? Okay. So is there a reason that the rooms can't be configured so that the door is in Angie or Karen's office?
Well, as far as being let in, they do have that access. We did have like a camera as far as the ring bell. And they can see as far as who's actually. So they have access to the cameras that we have.
So it's essentially the same thing, but they're not there to see the camera.
Like, there's not somebody physically there in front.
Just have to have someone there to be available. It's a safety, security issue. And there's a possibility of liability if something happens, if we've just got a phone number up there. I'm sorry, I shouldn't speak that hard.
So Jody, if we approve this, are we gonna get this same request from other departments next year where they want to have somebody answer their phones?
Well, I haven't had any
Let to answer phones.
else.
We have people available for that.
You know how hard this
I
would.
mean, again, with the new phone system, it will be, and I know this didn't go over well at the workshop, but I mean, one of the ideas we did float, and again, depends on the workload of this individual, that potentially that individual could be where all of the calls. And they would have access to, transfer them throughout the city. Right now, we can't transfer over to Public Works, but we will be able to do that here shortly. So, and then of course, when we get our barrier over here, then there'll be, as far as, people coming to City Hall, they'll be contacting whoever they're wanting to talk to. Won't necessarily go through a receptionist unless, of course, they don't know who they want to talk to, and then they will be going through, most likely in that situation would still be going through Rachel. But, I mean, right now, basically everything in City Hall is funneled through Rachel, and Public Works goes through Cindy.
Cindy or myself.
Yeah. So I am not aware that there would be another need. Now, looking way down the road, eventually, if the city really grows, I mean, I could see down the road, you might need a receptionist at City Hall. But that's what we're talking, that person it doesn't have to be there. It could be, as far as phones go, could be, that person over here. Over here, what I'm envisioning is similar, I guess, what they've got at PD. There'd be like a little iPad or something where you can talk to somebody and say, I need, I would like to come speak with you, or if you've got an appointment or whatever, and then somebody come out and let them in. We have our barrier for secure access into City Hall. So people aren't just wandering around.
Say something else right quick. It's not just PD calls we get.
Right.
We get calls for the water department. I called Rachel one day. I said, look, you gotta go tell those girls to answer their phone. Instead of telling us they're dialing the number to City Hall to speak to utilities, and they don't answer the phone. Got 10 in there within an hour. They're not working for us too.
Yeah, and I think we did identify one potential problem with that is we found that the phone number that's publicized on Google is incorrect. And so that's, we're thinking that maybe that's what was causing, because it was going to a number that nobody answers. And so we're in the process of getting that fixed. I don't know if that got fixed, Tanya.
We're working on
Okay,
Google verification.
yeah.
You don't rely on electronics nowadays. I know I'm old, but there's businesses of electronics don't always go through and you need a person there. Somebody that's alive that can answer the phone and do some other things.
Yeah,
No, it gets me wound up. I apologize.
yeah.
Not too much. We miss you.
But so on the, I mean, so I'm a little jaded because the workshop was, it felt like you were just throwing stuff against the wall and until something stuck. So it was not well prepared.
And
Much better prepared.
we could have done a much better job.
But on the customer service side, that Ms. Padron is always talking about, even if you have somebody answer the phone, they're going to forward it to a person who doesn't answer their phone anyway. So it doesn't improve anything. So
Well, I mean-
that's going to have to, that's a separate issue that needs to be dealt with as customer support, but this position will not help that.
But I know, but I can tell you, even on the utility side, if both girls are on the phone and it rolls over to back to someplace else, I mean, and everybody's on the phone, that, which happens a lot. It will go to a message. And I think sometimes we've had problems with this phone system, which is why we are replacing it. That it just, every once in a while, it just won't do what it's supposed to do.
With the new phone system anyways, the capabilities when it comes to the voicemail and the actual logging of the phone calls. So like for my girls, I'll be actually able to see how many phone calls are actually getting. Are they actually answering their voicemails?
Yeah, we don't have that
Now,
information.
no idea if they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing with phone calls. So that'll hopefully at least be.
But I know, but the delay, when Dolores had called that one day, we went and checked to see, are you guys,
Is your phone silent or is there some, yeah?
it's not any more busy than normal. And so we're trying, well, what's the deal? So obviously these people aren't calling the right number and
For utility billing sake too, I just found this out actually. Apparently, some of the reason why they're so busy taking phone calls is because when you call into City Hall, a lot of customers or citizens are just pressing one rather than listening to the menu. Well, that's utility billing.
yeah, and so
They're
it's a
transferring
lot of calls, guys.
What's your extension?
234. Yeah.
Set that out there.
So.
And I can just say, because I see this on a daily basis, I have 3 lines at my office. And there are days the phone doesn't ring at all. Those are the days we love, we get lots of work done. But there are days the phones ring constantly. And you can only answer 1 line at a time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, voicemails are important. And when you got all 3 of them ringing and you're on the phone with them and then your phones don't stop, there are times we don't get back voicemail wise till the next day.
If somebody.
Because we've been busy.
Smell too.
So this is the right topic, but so you call for an emergency versus fill out the website form, which is better? Do you respond to the website report of problems pretty fast?
I constantly have it open on my desk.
So is it negative?
And I prefer, if it's an emergency, I prefer the call because I can dispatch quickly.
You did that the other day.
Well, you don't close Public Works during the day either, do you?
No,
There's always somebody at Public Works during 8 to 5, just like here.
So Miss Dolores,
Yes.
do you get calls forwarded to you from the 3788 that are non-emergencies? And do you know about how many you get from that number?
I know we were keeping a tally back in May. And we were averaging, which this isn't gonna sound like a lot, but we were averaging about 25 a day.
From 3788.
That's a lot.
It's not a lot. It's a lot when you have other calls.
What about the 4088?
4088?
It's a new number.
I don't know what the 4088 is.
Isn't that the new number, Chloe? What is it, 5?
Oh, the 4408.
4408, sorry, I had the numbers backwards.
So they have, We know when it comes from the 3788 number, when it rings into our 4408, it tells us 5523788.
Okay.
That's how we know that that's coming in
From here,
from you.
the non-emergency numbers
Yes. Now,
in this.
I think most people know, and some of them don't, they don't think it's an emergency, they'll just dial a regular number. Most people know that 911 is separate from our other phones. So there's 4 dispatch stations, there's a black phone on each station. Then we have our Vesta, our 911 system that also has 4 lines. So at any time, we can have 911 going off and ever blooming phone in there going off.
You don't know how many we get from that. That other number, 4408.
Well, 4408 is gonna be the dispatch number.
Yeah.
That's the dispatch number?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the number you've been giving out to everybody?
4808 is the new line to there. But it still answers 3788, which is our old one.
Right.
And then the sheriff's office, I don't know what their old number was, but that.
They're still 4646.
But they have somebody to answer that phone.
Yes.
Yes. So the 3788 comes straight here usually, and then you forward it over there?
It rolls over to us.
Because you told us to call the 4408 if we had any.
As far as during the weekends and then after hours, it's best to use.
Yeah.
44. But if you can still use 3788.
In the day.
It will still go.
Okay.
So it's whatever you feel comfortable with. We definitely didn't want to get rid of it.
Person, are we gonna need a new console and a new radio system like you had before?
So,
No?
no, as far as the, what we budgeted was the console, right?
Right, that was the radio. We still have our radio console.
Right.
What we do not have right now is full CAD. So we cannot enter calls, which is why you call the 4408 and they can do it directly.
So if I call the 488, it's gonna go directly to,
Dispatch.
Yes.
But once we get the new phones, option 1 is gonna be dispatch. If you need a call to get to an officer of a new call. Like 3788 is mainly for admin stuff. If you need a detective, you already have a case. That's most of our stuff.
In fact,
Dispatch.
on their business cards, it's 3788.
That's one of the things we wanted to keep. Most everybody knows the police department is 3788. The sheriff's office is 4646. That's the number everybody knows. We don't want to confuse them by throwing our number in there if we can help it, because they're gonna come to us.
Anyway,
Yes,
okay.
but after hours, the phones roll over to us from this up. After hours, and then of course, after hours for Seadrift and Point Comfort come to us also. After hours, there's not as many phone calls.
I'm not. So when you get a phone call and you need to get a detective or somebody, do you radio it to them, or how do you actually contact somebody?
We have a cell phone that has their numbers in it. You either call them or send them a text message.
I would do the same if they weren't in their office.
And we even go so far as to email them, especially if they're off on the weekend.
Call.
We'll email them, so that will be waiting for them.
Justin, you gonna play? You have calls?
I think we're trying to figure out.
Are you currently having problems with the processing property and evidence that's brought in?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I am.
Tracing,
Currently, I have over 2,633 items right now. I barely have time for intake. So that means I have all these items coming in and I don't have time to do disposition. It takes about 3 hours for one item to go through the disposition process. That means I have to research it. Is it still involved in a court case? Is there a civil case? Are all the defendants cleared through this? So that's the first step. Well, first identifying the item, then the research. And then we have to actually dispose of the item. Does it need to be destroyed? Does it need to be returned to the property owner? So that's a whole process. 3 hours for one item. I currently have 900 items that I have researched for disposal, but I haven't been able to do anything with them.
And keeping up track of all of that is instrumental in the prosecution of all the cases.
When our evidence room gets overwhelmed, that can lead to damaged evidence. When Colin took over, there was a lot of damaged evidence. Like, into misplaced evidence. I mean, I get interrupted so much, it affects my focus. And that's important.
Important to prevent unauthorized hands getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
At least two, we did find out, if I'm sick, I'm the only one in there with access as did. I would like one other person that I could trust, at least a civilian, so there's no conflict of interest with the officers. And that way, if I'm on vacation, the bins get full, somebody else can step in.
We must decide how we're gonna, I'd like to make a motion. I don't know if I'm cutting people off. Do y'all have more questions? No. I'd like to make a motion to consider a new job description for property clerk, administrative assistant, pay grade 6 as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, approving the new job description for property clerk administrative assistants, pay grade 6 as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
You opposed, same sign. Hearing none opposed.
Aye.
One opposed.
Is this position part-time or full-time? It wasn't,
It was presented as a full-time.
Will you keep track of the numbers going down and us making progress so that we can show some return on this?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we did for the mental health officer. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, perfect.
do we have a new mental health officer yet?
Yes, ma'am. Reese, who's our.
Oh, was I gone when we met? Was I gone when we met him? Did you bring him to council to meet like you did?
We haven't done it in a while. We can start doing that. I mean, I know
With the other one.
with COVID and all that, they kind of things and.
Got some new
Yeah,
officers.
I know I reported it in my updates to council. I don't know that he's been to council.
Got some new officers too.
Yeah.
Oh, quite a bit. But in the academy. It's including Lily, so I need to go to her graduation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's-
I would like to extend an invitation to you city council members to come in and see our inspection. Y'all have not been there.
No, we haven't.
And it's.
Well, I know when it was first being built, or
If I get out of there
was
with that.
completed, we did invitation, but thank you. We appreciate it.
It's time to get word.
You wanna call and
Like, well,
that's fine too, but with.
try, yeah, anyway.
It is same
It should
short.
be, it should be, we should be very proud of what we've done
We,
as a community, as a county.
light was out.
Oh,
That's the reverse light.
yeah.
He said it didn't come on when it was stopped.
Is it true that you can speed, if you're in your district, you can speed and won't get a ticket?
So.
As long as you're.
Be a negatory.
As long as you're in a golf cart.
License. Like my son, he said, you get your water paid for free. What? Oh, yeah. You don't have a bill because you just go free.
Oh, my gosh.
That was a mess.
Glad they have.
Item number 6, pass 5 to 1.
Yeah. Had that pretty much.
Full-time position.
Wayne.
The water meters is accident.
Right, we got a lot of housekeeping items. That's good.
Yes, we do.
All right, we'll move on then to agenda item number 7. consider a resolution for R-0908.
Wait, we got.
What about number
six?
6?
Six.
Oh, six.
Oh, he went to Calhoun High School. No, he didn't.
I need to go to that.
What is that?
Agenda item number 6, consider proposed compensation plan for 2025-2026 fiscal year. Jody?
Mayor and Council, as you recall, earlier this year, we did complete a third-party salary survey, and we amended the 2024-25 compensation plan last April to implement the minimum recommended salaries at that time. Last week, I did receive the 2025 Texas statewide municipal salary survey from TML. They had contracted with Logic Compensation Group to prepare that survey. Port Lavaca, we did contribute our salary data for this study this year. Only 4 cities of the 16 entities that we use in our salary comparisons for our third-party survey also participated in this TML survey, and they were Beeville, Bay City, Angleton, and Freeport. A quick review, this TML report for the population of 10,000, 50,000 is widespread, but that's the breakdown that we have available, shows that our midpoint salary averages are generally lower than the midpoints provided for the same labeled job title in the TML report. Although positions like admin assistant, development services tech, and office manager were right on. And remember, we're looking at a wide spread. We're sitting here with 11.5, almost 12,000. But in this spread, we're looking at cities up to 50,000. So I kind of take that with a, keep that in mind. Since this third-party survey was completed less than 6 months ago and reflects a comparison of selected cities and entities in our region, staff is not recommending any changes to the currently adopted salary schedule. The budget of full-time positions for the fiscal year 25-26 will be 97 in light of the last item on the agenda, and the full-time equivalent part-time positions are 2.25. The recommendation, we're asking City Council to approve the salary structure that is in your packet entitled fiscal year 2026 as presented. And council would approve providing budgeted funds for merit increases for all employees in an amount equal to 4% of the total current salary figure, which has been reflected in the budget that we reviewed at the workshop. City headcount, again, is as follows: 97 full-time employees and 2.25 full-time equivalent part-time positions. And I've attached the pay grades and the salary ranges that we had approved last April. Again, not recommending any changes at this time.
I make a motion, we accept the
And I second.
compensation plan as presented.
Yeah, I second. Thinking of this,
Okay.
like, we weren't gonna approve it. I think it was pretty much, we're on target about
I think in the past, we would do head count and then we
Yeah.
compensation, and then we would do the budget, but this is fine. It's complete.
Does this include the new position?
It does. Yes. But again, if it hadn't passed, we would have amended that in the presentation.
Just so everybody's aware, I mean, we're 97, so we reduced by 3. So we're still paying for those positions. They're just not employees, so. Just
I think you.
We have a motion and a second approving the proposed city compensation plan for 2025-2026 fiscal year. All in favor as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Opposed, motion passes. Right, now we can move to agenda item 7, consider resolution number R-090825-1 to adopt a 5-year plan, 2025-2030 for the capital improvement program in compliance with Article 7.02, Section 15 of the city's home rule charter. Brittany?
Mayor and council, we had our CIP workshop on July 8th. So nothing has changed since that workshop, and I provided you all with a nice clean copy. So we staff recommends that we adopt the 5-year capital improvement plan.
the motion, we approve the CIP.
Second.
We have a motion and a second approving resolution number R-090825-1 to adopt the 5-year capital improvement plan as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Not opposed, motion passes. Brittany, this was also a very very impressive document.
Very nice.
I really like it. All right, we move to agenda item number 8. Consider resolution number R-090825-2, the city of Port Lavaca, authorizing signatories for the awarded Community Development Block Grant Regional Mitigation Program, contract number 24-065-167-1082. Jody?
Mayor and Council, after a very lengthy waiting period, the city finally received and executed on August 21st our GLO contract. That is the CDBG Mitigation Round 2 funding that we've been waiting for quite a while. This funding is planned to fund the following projects: the shoreline restoration, the old landfill at the Harbor Refuge, the installation of 2 metal drainage culverts under the rail line at the Harbor Refuge, and provide drainage improvements in a detention pond to address drainage issues in the area of the intersection of George and Half roads. The resolution presented here this evening is to assign the contractual and financial signatories for the project. The resolution is for the mayor, myself to be contractual signatories, and the mayor, myself, and Brittany financial signatories. We are working on the contract language for the administration, which will be KSBR, and the engineering, which is Mont McDonald and Urban Engineering. And those we are hopefully going to be bringing to council on the 22nd to get that going. We've got a couple of them. We don't have them on in yet, but we're working on that.
Any questions about this one? Okay, so I'll make the motion to accept the resolution 090825-2 of the city of Port Lavaca, authorizing signatories for the awarded Community Development Block Grant.
Second it.
You have a motion and a second approving resolution number R-090825-2, the city of Port Lavaca, authorizing the signatories for the Community Development Block Grant Regional Mitigation Program as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Opposed, motion. And right, we'll move now to agenda item number 9. Consider construction contract award for phase 4 of the City Hall improvement, security upgrades and interior renovation. David?
At the July council meeting, a selection committee was formed to advise me in the selection of a contractor for the above mentioned project, and that the weighting of the selection criteria would be 50% weight for price, 40% weight for qualifications, and a 10% weight for time. The committee included myself, Brittany Hogan, Mandy Grant, Derek Smith, Tim Dent, Justin Burke, and Brian Parker with McCoy Architects. On August 21st, we opened 2 proposals. BLS Construction out of El Campo and the other from Logger Construction from Victoria. Brian Parker with Raleigh McCoy reviewed the bids for completeness and mathematical accuracy and provided the attached evaluation for the consideration by the committee. This information was emailed out to all the committee members for their review and comment. And the recommendation of the selection committee is to award a contract to Logger Companies Incorporated in the amount of $248,500 for 128 calendar day contract. So you can see the evaluation award showed that BLS's bid was $299,600.
Okay.
Where's the bid, the Logger?
Yes, yeah.
My motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second awarding bid to Logger Companies Incorporated for the base for City Hall improvements, security upgrades and interior renovations in the amount of $248,500. As presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. None opposed, motion passes.
Hey, Jody, just a question. Only 2 companies responded.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, what are we doing or what, how come more people don't put in for the?
Invitations were sent to like at least
6 different.
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7 Brian sent that he was familiar with. And then we advertised.
It's in the newspaper too.
5 of those companies they sent them to were out of business.
I think that's,
They're just real busy right now.
yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Seems like
They were in.
It's always hard to get this level.
Right.
So there's like under 500,000.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Get bidders.
Yeah.
Okay. Move on then to agenda item number 10. Consider second and final reading of an ordinance S-3-25 of the city of Port Lavaca for amendments to the base ordinances S-2-20 2024-2025 fiscal year budget, providing for amendment, providing for severability, giving all ordinances in conflict and establishing an effective date. Written.
Mayor and council, this is the second reading for the additional funds for the smoke testing at the main lift station. Staff recommends we approve this budget amendment.
Can I so move this one? I read it.
I'm so moving.
Move it.
I'll second it.
Okay. So that was.
Justin Allen.
Okay.
To approve as presented. Read it at least first. A motion and second approving the second and final reading of ordinance S-3-25, city of Port Lavaca as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. None opposed, motion passes. All right, we'll move to agenda item number 11. Consider second and final reading of an ordinance G-9-25 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the code of ordinances, appendix A, fees, rates, and changes. Chapter 2, administration, chapter 8, amusements and entertainments, sections 8 to 28, chapter 50, sections 50 to 67, utilities, water, user rates, DBRA, residential and commercial. Chapter 54, waterways, and providing an effective date. Jody?
This is the ordinance to change our fee schedule as needed for the new fiscal year. There are no proposed changes since the first reading of the ordinance. And those changes are reflected in the attached ordinance.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and second approving second and final reading of ordinance D-9-25 of the city of Port Lavaca Code of Ordinances as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Unopposed, motion passes. As we move on to agenda item number 12, consider second and final reading of ordinance D-10-25. The city of Port Lavaca amending the ordinance codified described in the city of Port Lavaca's Code of Ordinances as chapter 2, waterways, establishing an appendix B for tariff circular A, providing for purpose of ordinance, providing for severability, providing for repealing clause, and providing an effective date. Jody?
And this ordinance, again, establishes an appendix B, which is, will be the tariff circular 1A for ports and harbors facilities. No change, proposed changes. It's the first reading.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Approving the second and final reading of ordinance G-10-20 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the code of ordinances described in the city of Port Lavaca's code of ordinances as chapter 54 waterways, establishing appendix B for tariff circular 1A as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. None opposed, motion passes. All right, we move now to agenda item number 13, consider second and final reading of an ordinance G-11-25 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the ordinance codified described in the city of Port Lavaca's code of ordinances as chapter 12, buildings and building regulations, article 6, requirements for owners of residential properties used as short-term rentals, providing for purpose of ordinance, providing for severability, providing for a billing clause, providing for an effective date. Eric?
Mayor, council, nothing's been changed since the workshop. I do want to point out that it's the operators, if they do register this year for the end of the year, then it will roll over, and the expiration for the first year would be at the end of December 31st of next year. So that way they don't have to do it again in January. So,
That's nice. It's basically providing Airbnb type operators to pay the same hotel.
yeah, that's already been required as the hotel motel tax. They just need to register with the city now. The other restrictions, items that are on there.
Motion to approve the second reading.
Second.
The second. We have a motion and a second, approve the second and final reading of ordinance G-11-25 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending the ordinance codified described in the city of Port Lavaca's code of ordinances as chapter 12, buildings and building regulations. Article 6, requirements for residential properties used as short-term rentals as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. None opposed, motion passes. All right, we move to agenda item number 14, consider first reading of an ordinance S-4-25, approving the annual budget of the city of Port Lavaca and adopting the budget document for the fiscal year October 1, 2025 through September 30th, 2026. Brittany, anything you want to add?
Mayor and council, the budget with changes recommended by city council on August 18, 2025 workshop is recommended for the city council's approval and contains combined revenues of 25,958,169, followed by combined expenditures of 30,035,226, leaving combined fund balance reserves of 12,231,369. I have provided a script for each one of you. This has to be, legislation requires specific language, so it has to be a record vote of each member. Should be the first top one, this one.
I like ample reserves, right? Ms. Hogan, ample reserves.
Mhm.
All right.
But we're doing the annual budget ones. We're doing the annual budget.
This is annual budget.
14. Move to adopt the 4-year 2025-2026 annual budget as presented by the city manager or finance director.
That's your motion.
That's my motion.
Second. A motion and a second.
This is record, they have to say it out loud.
Approving the fiscal year 2025-2026 annual budget as presented by the city manager. We will have a record vote, so begin. Justin?
Justin Burke, aye.
Rosie Padron, nay.
Jim Dan, I.
Rose Glenn Stewart, aye.
Alan Tippett, aye.
Daniel McGarry, aye.
We have 5 ayes, 1 nay.
Yes.
So motion passes. First reading of the ordinance is approved. All right, we will move to agenda item number 15. Consider first reading of ordinance S-5-25, fixing the tax rate and tax levy for the city of Port Lavaca, Texas for the year 2025. Brittany?
Mayor and council, on August 18, 2025, the city council took a record vote to propose a tax rate of 0.8000. Because the proposed tax rate exceeds the no new revenue rate, additional language is required to be included in the ordinance and requires specific language in the motion to adopt the tax rate. I also provided that in script as well. So staff recommends that we adopt a tax rate of 0.800.
I'd like to make a motion to move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 8.8000, which is effectively a 5.5% increase in the tax rate.
We do each motion at a time.
Yes.
Okay, so that's motion 1 of 3.
Yes. This one's a record.
This one is direct.
We had a second. Justin second.
Justin, a second, yeah.
Okay.
We'll begin the record votes.
Justin Burke, aye.
Zee Padron, aye.
Jim Dan, I.
Rose Glenn Stewart, aye.
Alan Tippett, aye.
Daniel McGarry, aye.
Okay, additionally, the tax rate consists of 2 components, each of which must be approved separately. The maintenance and operations fund is 69.6987. Interest and sinking, which is debt, is 0.1013. Motion is to adopt a maintenance and operations rate of 0.6987.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to adopt the maintenance and operations rate of 0.06987.
No, 0.
0.6987.
0.6987. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Opposed, motion passes.
Anyway, I move to adopt an interest and sinking rate of 0.1013.
Motion and a second to approve the sinking rate of 0.103. Presented, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Unopposed, motion. Move to agenda item number 16. Consider first reading of ordinance G-12-25 of the city of Port Lavaca, amending chapter 48, traffic and vehicles, addition of new article 6, golf carts and off-highway vehicles, providing for purpose of the ordinance, providing for severability, providing for effective date. Eric?
Mayor, council, as discussed in the August 25th workshop, there is an interest in developing a golf cart ordinance. So therefore, I have a proposed ordinance attached. I do want to point out that the operator must have a valid driver's license. The vehicle is insured, also has required safety equipment in accordance with the transportation code. Vehicle must have reflective triangle affixed to the rear. And golf carts and other off-highway vehicles may not be driven on streets that where the posted speed limit is greater than 35 miles an hour.
Okay, so we can cross 35 illegal.
Yes.
I have a lot of people going to HEB. No.
No, that's not legal.
As long as you go perpendicular, and I'll go ahead, I'll go ahead and include that in the ordinance. Since this is the first reading, I'll go ahead and put it in there so that it's clear.
Well, I guess.
It's in there.
Cross from HEB.
I put it in there.
It says it may be driven across intersections where the cross street has a posted limit of more than 35.
I did.
is, which I'm just asking you.
Yeah.
In enforcement. My biggest question is at Smith Road and Broadway. Because crossing there, the speed limit increases.
On Broadway?
Well, on Broadway, it's higher.
I think we had talked that they would not be able to do that. Because
Nothing greater than 35.
Broadway is greater than 35.
45.
People understand
Do they understand that?
that once you cross 35, the speed limit's different. I don't think there's any signs. So when you're coming from Broadway to Smith, it
Yeah, but
never goes down,
Or should be on.
can't be on Broadway because
Can't
it's
be on Broadway.
5 miles an hour.
right? But do people,
And we may need a post sign saying no golf carts allowed.
Yeah.
because I do see golf carts going to Lighthouse Beach
Yes.
And,
Most of
Yes.
the time on it.
time.
well, and I will tell you, after our discussion, after the workshop, whenever I was leaving the Bower, there was a young lady, young girl
That's how it.
driving on the sidewalk.
That's it.
Yeah. Yep. But,
They can't do
no, they're
it.
not supposed to be on the sidewalk.
That's a state road though, right?
Yes.
So we can't, okay.
I mean, we could, council can't allow it. That's totally up to y'all.
What's the safety consideration from 35 to 40? I mean, what?
It's 30, because remember.
well, it's just, it's 35 was just a common, number used. It's also in the state statutes. It says that, council may allow, for vehicles to drive, just like I have it stated, up to 35, but you can also have it at greater speeds if there's not a safety concern.
That's my question.
So, and there's cities that have that and they require, of course, the golf cart has to pull over to the side and give right away, so we could allow them on 35 itself. I wouldn't think that would be smart, but,
No, please don't. Golf carts though, max speed, it will have an issue of impeding traffic. Yeah. I think a lot of them top out about 25. Maybe
13.
So you're looking at more of an issue of.
Okay.
but you got those off highway vehicles that go a lot faster.
They go a lot.
ATVs.
No, you can't have them on 35 with all that.
No, but I'm talking about like on Broadway.
On Broadway.
Talking about Broadway.
Broadway's.
I mean, if you wanted you're talking about the beach community and all that kind of stuff, it might be something to consider is,
No
On
vehicles
Broadway.
allowed on the beach.
It would just be like that short area,
Yeah.
right?
To the base
the beach community.
pier,
Sorry.
the Lighthouse Beach.
Driving back and forth to Lighthouse Beach on a golf cart.
From that side of
The
35.
other side of 35 though, that's the question.
You'd have to put in,
Across 35 or even coming from the other direction from, Commerce.
We got to text out to agree.
Yeah. We can't put up the sign on the text out right away without their approval.
See them do
Okay.
that all the time.
Maybe we can,
Like I said, we can't allow them.
You know, driving down.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Hard down.
No, just from like Smith Road to Lighthouse Beach.
Broadway.
I seen them today.
Driving down.
Not legal at all.
Well, they have to be legal.
They weren't.
What about driving down?
Well, the people I see are kids.
All right, let's.
Thinking about it as lowering.
Well, and they don't have to lower the speed limit. We can allow them.
Smith Road.
And if it becomes a safety issue, TxDOT can make us not allow it.
But that's gonna have to be communicated very well, 'cause
That's a high traffic intersection. It's pretty dangerous.
I think that's, yeah.
Not so much going on. Yeah. There, people going.
Do we wanna approve this with new language, or do we want to pass this and bring it up next month?
If you want to consider, them being on Broadway and crossing 35 as well, you'd probably be going on Broadway. I can confirm with TxDOT, make sure there's not an issue. And I can include that in the ordinance.
But I don't think it's Broadway, like, and Jody, explain to me where Lighthouse Beach Road is compared to Broadway comes all the way down and then
Well, that's very confusing.
dicey.
Basically, it's, Lighthouse Beach Road, stops at Broadway, but there was that sailboat.
Yeah, sailboat comes across. I get that because that's where our
Back, it's-
tax is.
But so you're asking for,
And I've seen some maps refer to Broadway,
And it's
Lighthouse.
that corner, they call it Half Moon.
Yeah.
it got on, technically, I mean, yeah, it's all 238, but
But the limit changes.
it's somewhere around where the spur comes off, because that was part of a TxDOT spur, then TxDOT gave it back to us. It's not a TxDOT spur anymore. And then I know there's some on there that are addressed Sailboat Road or something.
I can include it as 238.
Yeah, but just,
The corner is called Half Moon Reef.
That wire.
Okay,
What if I cut across the
238.
light and then go immediately into a pool parking lot?
Yeah,
Am I legal there?
You're still going on 238.
You're still on 238.
so that's not legal.
That's 40 right there.
That's not legal.
Oh, it's 45 right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is 45. I mean, unless we come up with some.
But if
You might
it's not a safety concern, we can allow it.
We call it golf.
So I can double check with tech.
Doing it already? So just go watch them and see what it looks like, and then we can revisit it.
All day long, sit out there, just wait for them.
No, yeah, and I was told.
Kids get out of school. Go about 5 or 6.
we're not supposed to be driving anyway.
This weekend, there's a lot of golf carts going back and forth on that street.
I just think it's past that
That's a
Broadway.
safety issue. I've had 2 cars in the pool in 5 years.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Golf carts.
Golf carts.
Y'all can't go fast enough to get in the pool.
I'm not worried about the golf carts that landing in the pool. I'm worried about
But the people are driving the cars that are landing in the pool or have.
Yeah, I guess the golf cart is gonna get us.
I think the fence will stop the golf cart.
Appreciate you guys taking note of this one that I brought to light, considering I bought my golf cart and realized it was fully illegal. Yeah.
But I will, if y'all feel it's not if y'all want to for now, I can go ahead and include 238 in the ordinance. And if it does be concerned, we can always,
Just that section.
yeah.
Pass on it to wait for next month to.
No, I could change it for the second reading.
Change it
Yeah.
anyway. Justin.
To include that section of 238.
And we'll probably end up, later on, we'll probably end up having to post like no golf carts, like on sidewalks and, things like that. Unfortunately, we will have to do that.
So, Mr. Smith, are we gonna put in the language, they have to have some golf clubs on that golf? Have the golf course in Portland?
Negatory.
Nah.
Right?
Need to
Have any
communicate.
golf club?
I forgot, you should have to have the flag though.
Oh, Justin, you gotta put a flag in your, Justin,
It does have to be a.
gotta have a flag.
No. Oh, you left that in there about that thing sticking out?
Has to.
10 foot.
Who's on that pool?
Joe bought for my trike.
Can you take it out? I mean, because we're not riding in, dude. Oh, okay. Like, I don't understand these, mountains and hills here. Yes.
What is the big deal, Justin?
I don't want a flag.
But yeah, that's the main things that I had in here.
Amen.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve this with the language that we discussed, to be included in the second reading. Yes.
Yeah, it's like.
And Mandy's touching her eyes.
Like what language?
Got all that.
So recorder, Derek will remember
Lighthouse Beach portion,
Portion.
right there. 38
to deal with the lighthouse.
Whatever.
The safety of the lighthouse.
Beach Road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
238 to Lighthouse Beach Road.
which means they
52.
Yeah.
can only be on Half Moon
Yeah.
Reef Road, not Broadway. Yeah, because it's at Lighthouse Beach Road, it changes from Broadway to Half Moon Reef.
Anyway, that little section right there.
No.
So,
Maps.
Okay, we have
Clearly.
motion and a second.
Where I put signs up.
Gosh.
Language included.
Addressing
Sensitive safety.
safety issues around Lighthouse.
Dealing with the safety issues around Lighthouse Beach Road as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign.
I vote. I think it's too dangerous. I think you're gonna have kids driving around, not even supposed to be there.
I think they drive cars too.
So first reading
They do it.
G 12-25 passes 5-1. We'll move then to agenda item number 17, consider the first reading of ordinance G 13-25 of the city of Port Lavaca. Amending chapter 12, buildings and building regulations, article 2, building trade codes, section 12-51. Additions, deletions, and changes. 21, the National Electric Code to allow aluminum conductors on the load side of the power company, providing for the purpose of the ordinance, providing for severability, providing for the filling wall, and providing effective date. Here.
Mayor Council, the thing, I'm not for sure when this ordinance was put in place, but, I'm sure it was, probably 30, 40 years ago, but the safety concerns with the use of aluminum, it's changed a lot. The material has improved substantially, and a lot of contractors like to use that aluminum clad, and it's a lot cheaper than using regular copper. So for building houses and things, it also lowers the cost of construction substantially. So I recommend that we allow aluminum and aluminum clad for use in construction and do away with this part of the ordinance. Amended ordinance.
Using construction or like just from the meter loop up to the pole
No, on the load side.
or just on the load side?
Well, it'll be on both sides now.
You're not talking about having aluminum in it, like in the house, huh?
That's the load side.
I don't know about all that.
So say again, Dick, they moved away from it a long time ago because it was posed some sort of hazard?
Expansion and contraction.
Yeah, the expansion and contraction, the terminal ends, back in the day weren't approved really for, aluminum. So all the expansion and contraction from the heat, just from being used, eventually it'll start arcing. You know, it start getting a little gap in it and it'll start arcing and it was causing fires, but this has been decades ago, with the fear of that. So that's why they probably put it in the ordinance at that time. But, the industry's changed substantially since then. And I don't feel that's a concern. They're using aluminum clad, copper clad, I'm sorry, in Houston and Dallas, Fort Worth, all the major construction that's going on with all the subdivisions and everything, that's what they use. Another reason why they're using it is because you can leave it out on the project site and nobody's gonna steal it like they do copper. But anyway, it's the industry's improved substantially.
Did you guys bring this up or did a local builder bring it to you?
Well, I was actually, I was a developer, Zion Homes, they requested. And then whenever I got to looking at it, I said, yeah, we really don't need that ordinance anymore. And so I went ahead and approved for them to go ahead and use the copper clad. But also for like your sub feeders and everything, I don't see any reason why you can't use aluminum.
It's approved by the building codes.
NEC.
The NEC, UL, all that, it's approved and listed, so.
So moved.
Yeah, second.
We have a motion and a second approving the first reading of ordinance D 13-25 of the city of Port Lavaca. Amending chapter 12, the buildings and building regulations as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The opposed, same signs.
Okay.
Two opposed.
Now referred to as aluminium, is it?
Aluminum. They're right.
It's actually good. Anything else?
Aluminum.
Did I bring anybody's attention that the visitation for David Hall will be at the Bauer Center on Wednesday from 4 to 8 p.m. Davis,
Wednesday or next.
This,
so coming Wednesday, September 10th. His funeral will be in Victoria at the First English Lutheran Church Thursday at 10 a.m. And also John Bella passed away. His visitation will be Tuesday, 5 to 7 p.m. His funeral will be at the Richardson Funeral Home Wednesday, 10 a.m.
And where's the visitation?
It's at Richardson's.
John Bell.
John.
When did you say David's funeral was on Thursday?
It's on Thursday. 9/11.
Lutheran Church in Victoria.
10 a.m.
okay.
But it's our central.
Visitation.
Visitation is, yeah.
Yeah.
4 to 8.
In the second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign.